Subscribe to Cello Caregiver.
Back again with the star of the show. Okay, Mom. This week, I wanted to touch on how, I take care of you, and I pat myself in the back. I do a good job. I wanted to know when I was a baby, how was I? Like, not saying you're a baby, but, just pretty much, how was I when I was a baby? Starting with, where was I born?
You were born at the General Hospital, and you weighed 10 pounds, 5 ounces.
And where were we living?
We were living in Lancaster.
In the projects.
Yeah.
The projects. And you were saying something about I was conceived in the elevator?
Yes.
Tell us the
I
story.
got to the emergency room, and I thought, they thought, oh, she has time to get to the delivery room. Well, in the elevator, they had to shut it off because you were being delivered. And then they took me to the delivery room, and they put me in a room, and they checked you out and checked me out.
After I was born?
Uh-huh.
And so, when you were in the hospital, how long did you stay in the hospital?
About 2.5 weeks.
And Dad had me?
Yeah, he came from Camp Pendleton. He got leave.
He was in the service, the Marines.
Yeah, and he got leave so he could come and take care of you and the boys.
And also, who was living with us in the projects?
Jenny came after
Your sister.
Yeah, she came after you were about 6 months old when she came over.
Okay.
But
Okay, let's get back to when I was born.
Lorraine and Patsy took care of you when you were a baby. They came to take care of you, to be with me, to help me.
Okay, so but when you got out of the hospital, and Dad had me, and what was he feeding me?
He was feeding you baby cereal in your bottle. And I said, you can't be doing that. And he said, well, he's eating it. So,
And I was only, a couple weeks old?
yeah, you were only a couple of weeks old, and he was already feeding you. By the time I took you to the doctor, you had gained more weight.
I was a gigantic baby?
Yes, you were. I couldn't carry you, so he carried you. So, but you were a very good baby. At 6 months, 6.5 months, I started sitting you on the potty chair, so to get you used to the potty chair. And before I knew it, you were a year old, and you were going to the potty chair by yourself. I never.
And our neighbors were the Carrascos.
Yeah.
And the kids were my age, huh? There's
Yeah.
a picture of me and one of the Carrasco kids.
Her baby was born three weeks before you were born, the youngest one.
Because I have a picture with my brother Anthony
That was Junior.
and
The oldest.
Anthony had a cowboy hat.
And Junior was her oldest, and I can't remember the girl's name.
And then when Jenny and them lived with us, all the kids lived with us.
Yeah, except for Angel.
So Richard, Lolo,
Yeah.
Mona,
And
Frankie, Sport,
and
Eddie. Vincent,
We registered him in school.
and Murchison.
Yeah. But Lolo and Ringo, I call him Ringo Patrick, and Frankie would not go to school. They'd take off roaming the project. And then Jenny decided no, because she was waiting for a place right there. They told her it'd be about 2 weeks more, and she said she couldn't handle it with the boys roaming the streets all over.
And when I was back to when I was a baby, because we're talking about me with a baby, and dad used to. I was closer to dad. Like he spoiled me more. I mean, I don't know. Like
Yeah, he always kept picking you up, and I kept telling him, no, he's gotta learn to be in the crib. If you whimpered, he'd right away go pick you up. And I was trying to get you to not cry and fall asleep. But no, Dad would pick you up. And then at night, you would sleep on my side, but you throw the bottle and it would hit Dad.
my bottle that I was eating with,
Your
whatever.
bottle, your baby bottle.
Oh,
And then I'd say, I'll get up to go give him a bottle. And he said, no, I'll go. So he'd go downstairs and make you the bottle, go back up. And in the meantime, you were sucking on that banana.
hey.
On, on the banana of the monkey that he had got you. And you were falling asleep, and so he decided to give you the bottle. As soon as he gave you the bottle, you went back to sleep. I never had.
He used to tell me stories where he would throw me in the water, or
Yeah.
when I was a baby, he'd throw me in the water, the pool.
You were like 8 or 9 months, and he would throw you in the swimming pool with your how do you call that? You had a ring that he would put on you. And you would jump in there with him. And then one time you were like around 11 months old. You got up and you started walking to where he was. And good thing you had that thing on, because you would have drowned it. You wanted to be with him and you just jumped in the water.
What were my first words?
Of course, Dada.
Dada for my dad, or Dada
Uh-huh.
because that's your nickname?
No.
That's what they called you in New Mexico, Dada.
No, because you were for your dad. And every time he'd go somewhere, when he had to go back to Camp Pendleton, oh, that was the roughest time. Because you wouldn't stop crying. And then after that, he came home. He came home and
And what about Uncle Tony? Dad used to tell me stories about where they used to throw me to each other or something, toss me.
yes, they'd get you and like you were a ball, boom, boom, boom. And I'd tell him, you're gonna hurt him, you're gonna drop him. And they'd say, no, we won't. And they'd be like sitting down drinking, and they were playing with you, and on the other side, Robert would be drinking their beer. I couldn't believe it. The way you kids were. When
That's
you
the
were
projects.
little. Yeah,
We're all born and raised in the projects.
yeah,
Well, I was born and raised in the projects. They were born somewhere else, but they ended up in the projects.
yeah.
That's crazy. And how about, when did I start walking?
You were a year old when you started walking
Started
on your
walking?
own. You didn't want to be carried either. You wanted to be walking, running all over the place. You were such a kid baby. And
Still am.
and you have a picture of your babysitter too, huh?
Yeah. In Maywood or somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we moved
I have a
away.
lot of old pictures.
Yeah. You were 11 months old and she was walking you. Everybody wanted to walk you. Well, everybody, good evening. Have a good evening. And until next time, deuces.
What if it's not the evening when they're watching it?
Huh?
What if it's not the evening when they're watching it?
Well, we're doing that in the evening.
Deuces.
Deuces.